And then we're gonna go back in later, yeah.
Oh, you're going back in?
Yeah. Be a long night. Lot of issues.
Wake me up.
Lot of stuff. Yeah. You're the only one preventing them from getting worse.
My starts are not off.
All right, Maria, I gotta have you take your seat only because
Well,
we,
Jess is, oh, sorry. She's back, sorry. Hey,
We
I was
have-
the first one here tonight. I needed a ladies.
we have one thing that needs to get done immediately at the beginning of the meeting, that's all. All right. All right, so the board was in executive session. I will entertain a motion to go out of executive session. Can I have a motion, please?
Motion to come out of executive session?
Is there a second?
Second.
Second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All right, so the board came out of executive session at 7:10. We're now going to open the full board meeting. Okay, ready? Today, a meeting of the Rocky Hill Board of Education, June 15th, 2023, 7 p.m. in the Rocky Hill Town Hall Council Chambers. This meeting will be live streamed to the Rocky Hill Public Schools website. If everyone can please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag
and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, two quick notes. I need to entertain two motions from the board. The first one is, I need to ask that someone make a motion moving item number 15 up to item 1 on the agenda. That is the Assistant Superintendent for Personnel and Student Services report.
So moved.
We have a motion. Is there a second?
Second?
Second by Ms. Marinella. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion passes. I also need one more motion, which is to move item 14 down to item 20 with a note that the board will be reconvening executive session tonight in advance of item 20.
So moved.
We have a motion. Is there a second?
Second?
Second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Okay, item 14 is now item 20, and the board will be reconvening back in executive session after this meeting. Please note that we only came out of executive session tonight because we ran out of time due to the start of the board meeting. With that, we will start with item number 1A, the Assistant Superintendent for Personnel and Student Services report. Ms. Stevenson, how are you?
All right, I'm good. Hi, everybody. Thank you for accommodating me and moving me to the front. I just have some exciting things to report. So I wanted to let you all know, and some of you might know, that the lease has been signed on the expansion of the Dream Academy, which is really exciting. And I wanted to let you all know that Erin, our restaurant consultant, during the last month of school, came in and did some work with the kids. She worked with the Pathways students, the Dream Academy students, and she went to the high school and worked with the life skills students because those students will be going to the Dream Academy. So she wanted to do some cooking activities with them to kind of get an idea of like what is realistic for menu options and what kind of skills they have. And it went really, really well. She's really excited. The kids were really excited. So I wanted to let you know about that. I wanted to let you know that we're working hard, and when I say we're working hard, I don't really mean me, because all these emails are going on. Mr. LaMontagne, the restaurant consultant, I don't know what anyone's talking about, but it's a lot of things about cut sheets and convection ovens and architectural drawings, and I'm like, okay, but I wanted to thank Mr. LaMontagne because he's been working really hard to make sure that this all happens, and it's going to be so exciting. And to that end, Dr. Zito and I had a call with Walter Glom last Friday, and he's the director of the Connecticut Council for Developmental Disabilities, and he is so excited about what we're doing here. He was so excited, and it was great to see his excitement. And he was using language like he wants our district to be a model for other districts. He wants us to create a toolkit for other districts, and he invited us to present to the council for the Developmental Disabilities Council for the state in September to showcase all that we're doing. So it's really exciting. And I just wanted to share that with you guys because it's great, and thank you for voting to approve the expansion of the Dream Academy, and this is going to be a really exciting project. So I just wanted to give you an update on all of that work. And switching gears really quick, and then we're going to switch gears again really quick because I've got a little video to show you. for the HR world, we've been really busy. So once the budget was passed, as I indicated at our last meeting, we did post for positions, and we're just doing great. We've had so many candidates apply, and in the short time that we've posted, our administrators and staff have been really busy interviewing, and we've hired a physics teacher. We have interviews tomorrow for an English teacher, a social studies teacher, a special education teacher, and interviews on Monday for a school psychologist. So we're getting a lot of candidates, and they're great, and we're fully staffed, so for both certified and non-certified. So I just wanted to give you an update on that. So it's very exciting. And with that being said, I do have a video, and there's music to it, so I'm hopeful that we don't have to sing this time and that it's going to play. So with that, video? Hello?
Oh, boy. Oh,
There we go. Yay! All right, so that was their last wrap-up in their last couple months. And one more thing I just wanted to let you guys know, some of you may know this already, but the new legislation that just came out did extend the students that are turning 22 through the whole school year. So that is a change, and that did impact one of the students in the video that you just saw. And we're actually really excited about it because he's awesome, and now he gets to stay with us for another year. So, so if anybody has any questions, I'll be happy to answer them.
Mr. Gavin?
Where was the Air Museum? Is that in Bradley?
Oh, yeah, I don't know, because I didn't
New
go.
England Air
It's New
Museum.
England Air Museum.
Looks awesome.
Yeah, that's great.
It's
Great
Ms.
program.
Rolfe?
two things. When, do you have a date for the Dream Academy opening?
So we're hoping that the build-out is going to be in 60 days done, right, Ron? That's what we're being
So it would
told.
be open for?
We're hoping the start of the year. Yes, that's what we're hoping. Yep.
And my other question is, all the positions that you filled, were they open positions or were they retirements or?
They were
positions?
mostly retirements. Yeah, mostly a couple. We had a couple resignations. Somebody is leaving, going out of state. Somebody was leaving, and some of them I don't even know if you've announced all of them yet.
No, most of the positions that you mentioned today are all
Retirements.
vacancies created by retirement.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah,
and
we
then,
had, I believe we had, what, 10 that night when we honored the retiring teachers, right?
Yeah.
Was there 10 here?
And then one of them that I mentioned was because Colleen Martin is moving to South Carolina, so that created a special education opening. So that's the special education opening. Yeah. Yep.
Any other questions for Ms. Stevenson? All I got to say is I guess I'm jealous those kids got to do more in a month than I do all summer. Looks like they went to a lot of great places.
They
so
did,
I think
and they
you
had
and
a
your
great
team did a
time.
great job.
Yeah, they did.
A lot of
And
smiles. A lot of
Thank
smiles.
you to, Colleen Martin is leaving. She's moving to South Carolina. Her and I have been together for a lot of years, so it's very sad to lose her. She's done an amazing job. So, but we'll have a new teacher in the program, and he's going to do a great job too.
All right, great. Thank you, Ms. Stevenson.
All right, and with that, I have to excuse myself. I have class.
All right, back to the agenda. Item number 2, audience participation, meeting open to the public. Is there anyone here to address the board? Mr. Kosker does not have any comments tonight. Well, it's nice that you're here, Mr.
Nothing
Kosker.
today, huh?
Approval of the minutes. We have the May 11th, 2023 Board of Ed Transportation Committee minutes, May 18th, 2023 Board of Ed meeting minutes, May 2023 Board of Education special meeting minutes. Any requests for any edits, corrections, or deletions to the minutes? Hearing none, I'll entertain a motion.
Motion to approve?
We have a motion. Is there a second? Second by Ms. Tucker. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion approved, 8-0. Thank you. Correspondence, Dr. Zito.
Yes, every board member should have a copy of the letter from the West Hill PTO that we left at your seat this evening. This is a follow-up to the Facilities Committee meeting on Tuesday. Lisa Nightingale and Amy Forcier were there representing the West Hill PTO, and this was the letter that the committee had requested. So they're indicating that they will be fully funding the outdoor classroom at West Hill pending board approval. You have it on a consent calendar this evening, and the way we wrote it up is that the board would provide the approval, and then the PTO funded classroom would move forward through the process, which includes satisfying all the requirements from the planning and zoning department.
Okay. That, I think, satisfies the request of the Facilities Committee that night. So I think we have everything here. Anything else, Dr. Zito?
No, that was it.
All right. With that being said, we can move on to the consent calendar. We have 4 items. Field trip approval, Rocky Hill High School entrepreneurship students, New York City, Tuesday, October 17th, 2023, and Tuesday, March 19th, 2024. Approval of the Rocky Hill High School composting initiative, which was another great thing that we saw at this past week's curriculum committee meeting. Approval of the West Hill PTO to move forward with the PTO-funded outdoor classroom pending satisfaction of meeting all zoning requirements. And the last one is to direct the administration to commit any unspent funding from fiscal year 2022 2023 towards the Stevens School HVAC project. Would anyone like any items removed from the consent calendar? Hearing none, I'll entertain a motion.
Motion to approve the consent calendar?
Motion by Mr. Slattery, is there a second?
Second.
Second by Ms. Manella. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion passes 8-0. Thank you, everyone. All right, committee reports, curriculum, Ms. Tucker.
So we met on Tuesday, and all board members were present, so I'll keep it pretty high level. The agenda was pretty large. We went over the composting, which we just voted on in the consent agenda. We had an update from Dr. Foti, or Mr. Foti, on the NESAC report. We had an update on the Washington DC trip, which we're going to continue to keep on the agenda in the future to try to increase the attendance or the interest for the DC trip, and perhaps increase the grades that attend. We reviewed the Next Generation Accountability Report and the School Profile and Performance Report. We also discussed, and will continue to discuss, having a spring parent-teacher conference meetings at the elementary school level, at which currently they're just meeting in the fall, almost winter, so perhaps having a second session. And lastly, we discussed the middle school mathematics and what are the options and what are the tiers of the different math classes. And that was the meeting.
All right, any questions for Ms. Tucker? Hearing none, I just want to say, thanking Ms. Listro and her team. I thought that was a really great curriculum meeting. There's a lot of
Yeah,
things
it
that were
was.
covered and a lot of great initiatives, so
Thank you.
thank you for setting that up. Moving on to facilities, Mr. Gavin, that was another big meeting agenda. Mr.
It
Gavin.
was. The Facilities Committee had their meeting on June 13th, this past Tuesday, where we discussed the PTO-funded outdoor classroom that we just approved on the consent calendar at West Hill, which looks pretty awesome. We discussed the disappointment of having our capital improvements program budget slashed by $1 million, which will make it very hard to make any improvements physically to the school's facilities. We discussed the positive things that are coming up. The Griswold Middle School roof project is starting, as well as 2 more science labs in the middle school. We went through an update on the HVAC project at Stevens School and what we're going to try to continue on that project with a far reduced budget. And the state facilities grant that is currently available for said HVAC project that we're hopefully going to be able to utilize at some point. And that was it.
All right, any facility questions for Mr. Gavin? Hearing none, and just with that, I just want to take a moment also to thank Mr. LaMontagne. So thank you for all your efforts on the facilities projects, and you're going to have a busy summer, sir. So thank you. Moving on, we have finance, Ms. Tucker.
The Finance Committee meeting has not met.
Okay. P&N, Mr. Gavin. I think Dr. Zito may provide a little bit of an update on schedule too, but Mr. Gavin.
Yes, we're in the process of trying to find a time to meet.
Yep. And teacher negotiations.
Teacher negotiations will kick off in late August, like they do every time the contract comes up. So I'll be looking for the chair to appoint a committee at some point. It's sometimes P&N, sometimes chair appointed, so really at the discretion of the chair.
All right. Get ready, Mr. Gavin. Get ready. All right.
Looking forward to it.
Policy, Mr. Slattery.
Policy, we met to discuss the transportation issues and.
Admin regs.
Yep.
So I would defer if Dr. Zito wants to comment.
Yeah, just a quick update. We reviewed the administrative regulations for the, in light of what happened with the bus situation a couple months ago. Committee members thought they were in good shape. We don't require board approval on those. Actually, Christine distributed those to the administrators today. And tightens up the process in terms of ensuring that if there are any transportation issues, that the company gives us a fully transparent view of what happened so that we can communicate appropriately with parents.
Excellent. I think we did have most board members here for that meeting
Yeah,
as
I think
well,
the
but,
entire board was there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
all right. Special education, Mr. Slattery.
We have not met, but I think we are up to date on everything. You know, I think the most important thing was the approval of the lease for the
Dream Academy.
expanded Dream Academy.
Yeah, and I think, and I know Ms. Stevenson's not here, but I think we were talking about having a special education meeting possibly next month, right?
Yes,
You were
I think so,
mentioning
yeah.
to talk about the progress on the Dream Academy. So I think everyone will look forward to that. Any questions on special education? All right, correct counsel, Mr. Desai is not here tonight, unfortunately. He did not provide a report. School safety, Mr. Slattery.
We have not met on school safety.
Okay. Moving on, old business, Dr. Zito, I do not believe we have any, correct?
That's correct.
All right, new business, item 16, Assistant Superintendent for Finance and Operations, Mr. Zettergren.
Yes, in your board packet is the regular financial report reflecting year-to-date figures through the month of May 2023. As you know, we are in the process of closing out our financial information for our fiscal year ending June 30th. At this time, I am anticipating that we will end the year with a small surplus, as we've discussed in some of our committee meetings. Actually, today, we have begun work on our scheduled facilities projects, as we noted last night, completed this summer, a GMS science classrooms roof project. Also, Ron has been working with the town in looking at paving the parking lot at West Hill and also the front pedestrian area. The auditors will be in during the second week in July to perform their preliminary work on the audit for the 2022-23 fiscal year, and be back in August and early September for 2 weeks to conclude their work on the audit. Also, I've talked to Ms. Stevenson, and we will be serving free meals for our summer ESY program.
Any questions for Mr. Zettergren? I actually have one. Mr. Zettergren.
Yes.
Where are we with fixing these broken light poles at the high school?
Good question.
That's a pause. It wasn't a trick question, I just. I mean, it's coordinated with the town, right? Is the town talked about a plan and said, I think there's 3 down now, right, in the high school parking lot?
I'll have to defer to Mr. Lamontagne on that.
So the parking lot pole, there's one down that's a future camera pole, so it's not actually a light. And we do have one on order that is a light in the student parking lot. It's actually at it's not quite a 45 yet, but it's getting close. That is scheduled for this summer as well.
Okay.
And then there's a couple of bollards. We have an issue with an underground short with the bollards that surround, the light bollards that surround the school that we're trying to identify. My HVAC mechanic was working on that. My former HVAC mechanic was working on that prior to his departure, but we will be working on that with the electrician that is our vendor this summer. We think we've been disconnecting and checking as far as we can, but I think we're narrowing it down now.
Okay. So we only have 1 light pole down or 2?
There's one light pole, which is really a camera pole.
Yeah.
There's one that does need to be replaced because it was hit by a plow. And there are some front bollards. There's 2 front bollards that are missing as well. We have them, and they will be installed this summer.
And our plowing's typically done by the town?
Town and the bollards, unfortunately, were hit by our guys.
Okay.
So, but
Okay. So I guess if you can, maybe our next facilities committee meeting, if we can have an update on the plan and schedule?
Yep. The one large pole that does need to be replaced, it's long lead. So when I did order it, it wasn't expected to be here till summer anyway. So.
Okay.
But yeah, I will update you guys on the next facilities meeting.
Thank you.
Yep.
All right. Any additional questions for Mr. Zettergren? All right, hearing none, we're going to move on to the Assistant Superintendent for Curriculum and Instruction, Ms. Listro.
Okay, so some good news from the schools. They recently selected their Teachers of the Year. So I am proud to announce at the high school, it's Ms. Eileen Schneider, our art teacher. Griswold Middle School is Kim Lane, our library media specialist. Mosier School is Sinead Stewart, our speech language pathologist. At Stevens, it's Kristen Carter, first grade teacher. And at West Hill, Paul Zacco, grade 3 teacher. And our district teacher of the year was selected to be Paul Zacco from West Hill. So he will be completing his application, moving forward to the state level. We'll see what happens. But all of those teachers, as you know, will be recognized in front of the board in September, so you'll have a chance to meet them in person. Summer school update, celebration of learning, what we call COL. We're getting underway. It begins July 10th. And as a reminder, these are for invitation only. So the students currently receiving reading, math, or English language learner support are invited to attend. It will be held at Mosier. And this year, we have almost 120 students that took advantage of this opportunity to extend their learning. So we're very pleased about that. And then I hope all of you got the school messengers earlier in the week, sharing with families our summer reading and our math challenges. If you didn't, a quick update for you. Our district language arts coordinator, Mary Schaefer, our district math coordinator, Paige Weaver, they partnered with the principals and key staff in each school to create a really fun summer challenge. Most particularly, the reading challenge, if 75% of the elementary students participate, their principal, so at West Hill, it will be Scott Nozick and Wendy Duran from Stevens. So Principal Nozick from West Hill, Wendy Duran from Stevens. They have agreed to be drenched with a large bucket of ice water. So we'll have cameras handy for that moment. And then at Mosier School, Principal Dr. Annabelle Diaz-Santiago will partake in an Attack of the Silly String event. So we will keep you posted of those challenges as they unfold. And as always, we encourage students to keep learning over the summer. And we'll be posting that information on the curriculum and instruction website as well. That's it.
Excellent. Any questions for Ms. Listro? Ms. Rolfe?
I just had, I looked over the book list, which looks fantastic.
Yes.
Are those books that we currently have in our library?
We
town
partner
libraries?
with Cora J. Belden for that, and so the lists are shared with the public librarians in advance.
Nice.
And they have told us that they have many of those titles available, and what they don't, students can put or families can request them on order, and we can get them from other libraries. But yes.
Yeah, I wanted to read a few of them myself. They look really good.
Yes. The state really does a nice job. They partner with the state librarians to put together a very comprehensive summer reading program.
I looked at the math, too. The math looks good, too.
Yeah.
All right, any additional questions for Ms. Listro? All right, thank you for that great report. Moving on, we have Superintendent's report, Dr. Zito.
So, quick couple updates. First of all, on behalf of the whole staff, I want to acknowledge the board, each of you on the board, for your support throughout the school year. I think it was a successful year. In many ways, no masks, sports back to their normal schedule, assemblies, music events, drama, in-person meetings. This felt like a normal school year, if that makes sense, in the terms of the pre-pandemic life we all missed all those years during COVID. So, and your support really played a key role there as well. I know Ms. Flynn, on your behalf, had honored each of the staff with just a recognition luncheon last week as they were finishing out the year, and they appreciated that. So we're through the year with one thing left, and that's high school graduation. And I am now back into weather mode, like it's mid-February. But it's rain instead of snow and ice. So Laura Iafrancesco, who's the head secretary at the high school, has been in regular communication with Christine and with me. I spoke with Laura yesterday. I know she's been updating Chrissy pretty much every day. At this point, the forecast looks like an 80% chance of thunderstorms on Saturday. Because it's a professional baseball field, it's not our decision. It's the groundskeeper ultimately and the professional baseball team, which is the Yard Goats. They'll make that decision. If the field's really wet, they're probably not going to want to have 200 teenagers walking on that grass and destroying that grass because they put a lot of time and effort into it. So we will know. They've assured us we'll know by noontime tomorrow where we stand. The rain date is Sunday at 11 o'clock. The forecast for Sunday is mostly cloudy, showers later on in the afternoon. So at this point, it looks like it will be Sunday, but I'll let everybody know. You'll get a clear communication. We'll communicate with all the families, the graduates, and the kids, of course, and that's where we are. But they won't make that call until tomorrow, hopefully by noontime. That's the latest we have on that. So we'll keep everybody posted via school messenger, and that's the best we can do at this point regarding that. So that's my report.
Any questions for Dr. Zito? All right, hearing none, we'll go into my report. Similar to Dr. Zito, I wanted to first acknowledge our administration, all the teachers and staff in the Rocky Hill Public School System. I think this was a very exceptional year based on our academic test results and the achievements throughout the school district. It was also nice to have a return to normalcy. I think this is the first typical school year, I would call it, in a long time. And I think it was a great school year for the town of Rocky Hill. So again, I just wanted to acknowledge the administration, teachers, and all the staff for an excellent school year. I also wanted to take a second and thank the board for their decision tonight to keep the balance of our surplus funds for this year and dedicate them to the Stevens HVAC project. Unfortunately, as Mr. Individual said, our budget was cut. It's a very unfortunate situation. I don't want to call you out. You said it, not me. But our budget was cut.
Mr. Individual?
But I didn't want it, but I just, as an individual mentioned tonight, our budget was cut. And it's unfortunate, but I think what happens is we'll find a way to do it. We'll phase the project, and ultimately, we will complete the Stevens HVAC project. And I think that's the most important thing. We are aware of the potential state grant opportunity this August. We'll certainly look to leverage our funds against that, and it's just a matter of how we phase and cobble this project together. But I am certain in saying that I'm sure we will complete the Stevens HVAC project. It's just a matter of when we do it. So thank you, everyone, for all of your efforts. All right, with that being said, and yes, Mr. Gavin, you were the one that mentioned it in your facilities report. Well, I didn't want to call you out, but now I will. All right.
I said it.
So with that being said, we do need to entertain a motion to recess and go back into executive session because we do need to complete the superintendent evaluation for the 2023 school year. So with that, I will entertain a motion.
So moved.
We'll recess and go into executive session.
Yes.
Motion by Ms. Manel. Is there a second?
Second.
Mr. Slattery, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion passes 8-0. All right, we will resume executive session. Thank you, everyone.
We're bouncing around tonight.
For 20.
Yeah.
All right, it's 9:15. I will entertain a motion for the board to come out of executive session.
So moved.
Motion by Mr. Slattery, seconded by Ms. Tucker. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Okay, I will entertain a motion to resume the regular Board of Education meeting.
So moved.
Motion by Ms. Rolfe, second by Mr. Slattery. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
So we are now back in at 9:16 for the regular Board of Education meeting. We have one item on the revised agenda. That is now item number 20, and that becomes the approval of the superintendent's contract. I will now entertain a motion.
Move to approve the superintendent's contract from July 1st, 2023 through June 30th, 2026.
Okay, we have a motion for approval of the superintendent's contract. Can I have a second?
Second.
Seconded by Ms. Minella. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? Motion passes 8-0. With that, I will entertain a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
Motion from Mr. Gavin. Is there a second?
Second.
Seconded by Ms. Lafredo. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Meeting adjourned. Thank you, everyone.
Yeah.